Hello everyone, so season 1 of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a new Cyberpunk 2077 anime, has released on Netflix. It is 10 episodes long, each episode around the 25-minute mark, and of course CD Projekt Red, it's the world that's based off of their Cyberpunk 2077 game, which came out about 2 years ago now, but the animation, everything like that is done by Studio Trigger, so I was very much anticipating this show, and I was just really excited for it. I did really love Cyberpunk 2077. I quite enjoy the game. And then also to Studio Trigger, I mean, Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, animes like that have always been up my alley. I find their styles just very awesome, very unique. So very hyped to get in this one. Giancarlo Esposito voices kind of the main overarching villain in this story too, so I was very excited to hear his voice and his talents work their way into this anime project. So yes, without further ado, let me get into my review for Cyberpunk Edgerunners on Netflix. So this show is about a street kid trying to survive in a technology and body modification obsessed city of the future, which we of course all know is Night City from the Cyberpunk 2077 video game. Having everything to lose, basically, he chooses to stay alive by becoming an edge runner, so a mercenary outlaw, also known as a cyberpunk. So yeah, just things go from shit to absolute garbage dumpster fire for our main character David, and he basically has to go, he's forced into a life of crime after having quite a bit of promise in Night City and the education he was receiving. He has to turn that all away for a life of crime and a life of body modification, and lots of death and sorrow and just bad things are put his way. But it's a great story for David. In the actual Cyberpunk 2077 game, there is a bar that you can go to, and they only name drinks after the Legends of Night City, and this character is actually named after one of the drinks. So I was very excited to hear this guy's story, and after watching all 10 episodes of this anime, he deserves himself a drink for what he was able to accomplish and put himself through. It's definitely what a lot of people would call a Night City Legends, because goddamn, I did really enjoy the story that this entire season was able to put onto the screen. I found that there was a few pacing issues, mostly in the last kind of 4 episodes, but this there is a bit of a time jump in between the 6th and the 7th episode of this series. I did find that the first 6 episodes were a lot more entertaining and just a lot more focused, character driven. They did an amazing job. But Trigger, I find, always has super unique and really memorable characters in their shows, and that's no short here, and especially too with just the beautiful yet grittily disgusting world of Night City. They just had a heyday with their style. I found this was a world that really worked for their kind of storytelling and their animation style. Looked great, sounded great, felt great, and was told really well. And like, I'm not saying the last 4 episodes are bad. I just found the pacing was a little bit off, and there's a bit of a romance arc in those last 4 episodes that I just found had some really shoddy dialogue to them, where it was just so boring to watch and hear, and it just felt like there was absolutely no life. And for the relationship that was actually going on, I found that there just needed to be a lot more conversation and romance, and just a lot more to the relationship than just the normal, hey, what do you want to do? I love you. Yeah, but like, just there's just that kind of dialogue. And I'm not blaming the voice actors. I just found it was really plain for kind of, again, to it just really slowed down, and it definitely affected a bit of the pacing of the last 6 episodes. But the final 2 episodes really were unreal, and some of my most favorite action that they have that Trigger's ever done. And I think a lot of it too is just because I really loved all the different guns, weapons, body modifications, things like that were brought into the Cyberpunk 2077 game, and they illustrated that and brought that into the anime perfectly well. And just again, the strain that these modifications would put on the human body, mind, and spirits, I found that just their commentary on that was really well done and insanely well explored. And one thing too that I found that they got absolutely perfect is how monetized everything is in Night City, where they go over like the type of insurance you have will basically allow you to have visitors in your operating room, or like any visitation at all from family members. Just like the craziest things that seem so barbaric or normal in Cyberpunk and or sorry, in this universe. Even to exploring Trauma Team, I thought was really, really cool. I really like the comic book series that came out a few years ago about Trauma Team in the Cyberpunk universe, and I found that they explored them pretty well in this series too. They just did a really good job going over the life of a street kid and basically someone trying to again make a name for themselves in Night City. Brain dances are very well explored, hacking is very well explored, basically like everything that you loved about the games in terms of just the world building. They just expanded upon it brilliantly in this anime, and it definitely is one of my favorite ones that I've watched this year. It was something special. It's like I said, I really, really enjoyed watching the entire 10 episodes of this, and it's something I'll definitely watch again. I do feel like there is more story to be told, and some things were skipped over or maybe just rushed over too much. I felt like this really would have benefited from being a full 25 episode long series, and I do hope that maybe they can continue on with this world and story, or just telling the story of different people in Night City, because I loved it. I really, really enjoyed what Trigger did and CD Projekt Red did with this anime series. And again, too, like I said, just the style, the characters, everything works so well with the world that I do really want to see more. And I do feel like it could have benefited from more, but for what they're able to do in the 10 episodes, it was pretty damn special. And I do highly recommend it to anyone who's a fan of anime and anyone who really, really liked, even if you weren't a fan of the game, if you like the world, the weapons, all that things, especially to like the militia armies between all the weapon manufacturers in the world, if you like that story, this is definitely going to be up your alley. Because yeah, the animation, fight scenes, everything like that are absolutely bonkers and crazy, and just made such good use of, again, all the powers and cyber psychosis, things like that. And I found that the music was very, very well chosen and just absolutely kicked in like it, of course, did in the games. It was crazy how good the game soundtrack was. But I found that it almost seemed like they were only given 4 songs to use throughout the entirety of this anime. So a few times, I mean, they have the one song that Health did for the video game, and I absolutely loved it. And even though they were some of my favorite songs that were put into the 2077 game, I found that they were just a little overused. It would have been nice to have a little more variety in the songs in the soundtrack, but there are certain times where the songs are used so perfectly and the lyrics explain what's going on in the scene and just bolster everything. So like they were effective in every single one of their uses, but I just wish that again there would have been a little bit more music to shake things up, because after hearing the same song almost in every single episode, it can get a little old sometimes. But yes, truly, this series was worthy of building up a hero of Night City, a legend of Night City. I do really have to highly recommend it. And with everything taken together, I'm going to have to give Cyberpunk Edgerunners 8.5 out of 10. I really, really want to see more of this anime universe, of course, of the video game universe too. I really, really like Cyberpunk. I think it's a great series, and this just bolstered to, again, the storytelling that we could hopefully see in the future. So if you've seen all 10 episodes of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, please let me know what you thought of them in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up. And you can check out everything I do on this channel. We have a playlist down below, and I'll link some up top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing and turn that little ring around so you know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out the description of this video and of course my channel bio, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord, where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you definitely join that amazing community, help make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.
Sky blue eyes, I see a world behind them. No more time sinking into the silence.